Fox News alert. It's been a busy 24 hours for the president as he tries to make a deal with Democrats on border security and the shutdown. But it looks like we're not getting very far. The president reportedly walking out of a meeting after he couldn't reach a deal with Democrats. It all started last night as he made his case to the American people.
Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if we don't act right now. This is a humanitarian crisis, a crisis of the heart and a crisis of the soul. The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security.
Today, he then had lunch on Capitol Hill with Republican lawmakers and doubled down on his demands.
The Republicans are unified. We want border security. We want safety for our country. The only reason they're against it is because I won the presidency. And they think they can try and hurt us going into the presidency, but that's not going to happen. And we don't give up because we're doing the right thing for our country.
But Democrats aren't budging. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer just spoke after their meeting with Trump earlier today.
Unfortunately, the president just got up and walked out. He asked Speaker Pelosi, "Will you agree to my wall?" She said no. And he just got up and said, "Then we have nothing to discuss," and he just walked out. I asked him to open up the government. He said, if I open up the government, you won't do what I want. A few minutes later, he sort of slammed the table. And when Leader Pelosi said she didn't agree with the wall, he just walked out and said, "We have nothing to discuss."
Now, Vice President Pence says he doesn't recall him raising his voice or slamming his hand, and said the president actually walked into the room and passed out candy. But unfortunately for Democrats today, the headlines are all about Schumer and Pelosi's bizarre rebuttal last night, which put the internet on overdrive with hilarious memes of the leadership duo. One of the most popular ones was the American Gothic Pelosi and Schumer. Another popular one compares him to your angry parents finding out you've skipped school. And then there's this one asking if you need legal help for an accident. Greg, when you were watching last night and you saw these two people there, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, first I thought they were trying to sell me a reverse mortgage. But, I mean, you'd have to go to the local cemetery to find anything stiffer. I mean, they were shellacked in Cialis. They could not move. And I was talking to somebody in the green room before. It was clear that this had been written regardless of whatever Trump was going to say. Right? So he didn't give them anything to actually improv or vamp off of. Everything he said was factually correct. And you could tell, even with the fact-checking, how forlorn everybody was that they couldn't find any meat on that bone. So instead, you've got Lurch and Morticia. Is that the Addams Family? Or is that the Munsters? I always get them confused. Yeah. How would you know? You weren't even born then. Anyway,
Wednesday for Halloween.
What bothers me about this is that he brought candy.
Yeah.
And this is considered a peace offering, right?
Right.
And it's like, and then they just basically rebuffed him after giving him candy. We were talking to her, you don't like Jolly Ranchers.
No, I used to like Jolly Ranchers, but there becomes an age when you can't really eat them anymore.
This was the original name for Brokeback Mountain. Did you know that?
I don't think I'm old enough. I think I'm still young enough to have a Jolly Rancher.
Take a Jolly Rancher.
I'll take a Jolly Rancher.
But I'm going to have Starburst.
I got the watermelon Jolly
Orange
Rancher.
Starburst?
Well, now, if I give you this from Greg, does this mean that you're going to agree with everything we want?
Yeah, rotten teeth and rotten.
You
know what's interesting?
You have a sweet tooth, Juan.
Oh, I really do. I love sweets. You know, but here's the thing
Yes.
that strikes me, and I think Greg picked up on this. There was nothing. Trump said nothing.
But I said that in a good way.
Well, I'm just yeah, because you're glad he said nothing. But I mean,
no, what do you mean he talked about all the casualties, the victims?
Here's the thing. It was a national address that the networks got suckered into. Oh, the president's asked for national time. Well, I guess he's going to make news, but he makes zero news.
I don't think the president has to make news.
I think I think that is the reason that you get time.
He stated the facts.
Well, he didn't state the facts. I
mean,
this is a guy.
The statistics were pretty clear.
Oh, there's a national crisis when crossings are at a 20-year low.
Washington Post said that too.
Oh,
per Jesse yesterday.
Low. And I mean, and then he says, oh, you know, guess what? Heroin's coming across. Yeah, coming across not illegally in terms of illegal crossings, but coming through ports of
Both
entry.
places.
Can I
This
fact
is
check
all
you
true.
on
No,
both
let me,
places.
yeah,
Okay.
you know, this is a guy who says we have a situation here where the trade deal is going to pay for the wall. Nobody thinks the trade deal is paying for the wall, and certainly Mexico is not paying for the wall. So to me, it was like,
Do you want to
wow.
do you want to counter the port of entry argument?
I would like to do the point of entry because I knew you were going to bring that up, Juan.
I know, because this guy.
And
I'm
I'll
glad
give you
do
this.
it.
I will give you this.
Yes, go
They
ahead,
seized, Border Patrol agents seized 1,300 pounds of fentanyl at the ports of entry on the southern border. But they also seized 332 pounds of fentanyl along the southern border.
but Jesse,
that's a lot of fentanyl.
Jesse, you're missing
I'm
the
saying
reason
that's
why it's at
coming
port.
through legal
The reason
ports.
why it's at the port of entry is because that's often the easier path once you have barriers. So it actually moves it to port
Wait
of
a minute,
entry.
I thought you did. He wants the wall. So
Yes.
in other words,
It
right
ends up
now,
moving
it's coming through
so-
legal ports.
so you
But
hit
my
both
point,
si-
I think we're in the weeds, and I think this is what Trump does to the
smoking
whole
weed.
country. He gets you all of a sudden like arguing about, well, where's this coming? Where's that not coming? There is no crisis. That's the point.
Okay, well,
Then you're in the
Washington Post-
minority, Juan, because the Washington Post said 2
No,
days
that's
ago
a
that.
fact. Listen, I'm just talking facts.
Are you calling the
Let me just
Washington Post fake
no,
news?
I'm telling you the actual fact. And here's the
Okay.
thing that
There's
really,
no crisis. People are
here's-
dying. No crisis.
No, what people dying? That's another
2 children
one.
died.
Oh, get out of
The
here.
police
Here's the
officer
thing.
Singh the other day
Look,
was shot by an
I gotta
illegal
say,
alien.
listen, if this is, and this is the part I liked about what President Trump had to say. He talked about humanitarian issues, right?
But I thought there was no humanitarian
well,
issues.
I don't know.
I thought there was no
because
crisis.
If it's a humanitarian crisis,
First there's no
crisis is it?
crisis, now there's a crisis.
Well,
You're
you said
cherry-picking
Eat some
crisis.
candy, Juan.
Because if it's humanitarian, why was it not a crisis 2 years ago when Republicans had control of everything?
All right, let's get into Dana here. What do you think, Dana?
I don't know. I was having fun listening to you all. Okay, so I did think of something, though. Do you remember when President Obama gave the primetime address on the Affordable Care Act?
How can I forget?
Okay. what did Republicans? Remember we sat here like, oh, that's not true, and that's not going to work, and that's not the case, and it's not the, okay. Well, here's the thing. He had enough numbers to get that passed. He paid a political price for it. I think the jury is still out on that. It's not solved all the problems that they thought it was going to, but that's what happens in these things. I actually think presidents, even if they're not going to make news, if the president says, I want to address the nation, that the networks and the cable, they should give that, because it's not like he asks all the time. This is his first Oval Office address, and he chose to do it on immigration. You can choose to think that the speech didn't move the ball. You can choose to think that the speech was factually incorrect. But I do think that the networks did the right thing in taking the speech, and that he gets this reputation for being someone who walks around the White House fuming all the time. And Chuck Schumer, even today, says he's pounding the table. And the White House tries to show, no, actually, he's quite rational. And
he brings candy.
He even brought candy. Like, he's so nice. He's a father and he's a grandfather. I don't think that they made a big dent in moving anything either way.
That's
so
the
we're
point.
at an impasse. But I do think this is interesting that it's $5 billion. I'm going to say just $5 billion in the big scheme of things of the budget. On Friday, when the payroll doesn't go out, it's more than $5 billion. So I think that we've lost a little bit of perspective here.
Was the Obama address to the nation the one where he said, if you like your health care, you can keep it?
I'm sure. Well, you said it a million
I think
times.
that was that one. Emily, what did you think about last night and the Democratic response, if you can call it that?
I think, so I've been a federal attorney. You guys know. You continue to question it, but I promise I won't.
I've yet to see any proof.
Any questions whether you're
Show us your resume.
And I've been furloughed, and I've handed out furlough papers. And that pales in comparison to me in seriousness of the day that I was sitting in charge as a managing director of 55 federal employees. There were gunshots outside of my window, and there was an active shooter running around because I was responsible for their safety of them and me. So I don't understand why Pelosi and Schumer threw around comments today, just today, for example, in their response, saying the words tragic and collateral damage, talking about the furlough, when that's a disingenuous comment when our federal employees are being assaulted and murdered at the border, when our communities, our Midwestern and low-income and minority communities and more are being decimated by the drug war, by the drugs pouring over the southern border. I encourage you and everyone to read the 2018 DEA Drug Threat Assessment Report, which categorized and was quite clear about the level of prolificness that drugs are flowing across the borders in both ports of entry and not, and the crippling effect that those transnational narco cartels have on literally everything in our system, including our prison population, and including diplomacy and bureaucracy and politics, and entire towns that are literally in the palms of their hands. So when they say, oh, the wall's a morality issue, or they talk about this, all of these government employees at the moment, there's, to me, greater consequences that we're dealing with right now that are being lost in that oversimplified response to the national conversation.
Emily, how does a wall solve that? If the drugs are coming through legal ports of entry, the wall is not going to solve that.
Not all of them, Juan.
To address that, number one, the president isn't just talking about a physical barrier, but he's also called for funding for technology, for greater reinforcements for border
Democrats
agents,
are willing
for judges, for immigration judges, support staff,
What
et
the
cetera.
Democrats said today is, if you're talking about additional funds and forces on the border to deal with things like that, Emily, we'll negotiate. But let's not put the wall out there. Let's not shut down the government over this
personal.
charade.
Let's face it.
For the same wall that they voted for 5 years ago.
46 miles of wall.
I think what
in San Diego.
Emily's saying is that the Democrats care more about Americans missing paychecks than Americans missing dead family members.
Oh, is that
It's a
interesting?
priority problem. All right.
The 46 miles of wall in San Diego.